What's up, Common Fossil? We're taking a look at an Uxie spread deck. It's a lot of fun. I've seen some videos on some different builds of it, and this is my initial thoughts on the build. Still adjusting the list, and certainly let me know in the comments below your suggestions for it. So it's built around Uxie, which is a new Pokemon, tremendous little single price spread attacker, 1 psychic energy. You need it to be a 1 energy cost. And what Painful Memories does, you put 2 damage counters on each opponent's Pokemon, which also then means that Manaphy with the Wave Veil, or whatever the ability is called, doesn't stop this, right? If they play the Jirachi that was being played for a bit to stop Lost Zone, that would stop it. And Rabska would, of course, stop it as well. But there's very little of the Jirachi, right? Because the Lost Zone is not the big threat now. So you're not. So the fact that it places damage counters is definitely to its advantage. So playing 3 copies of this, I have 9 Pokemon. I want to go second, and I want to start Uxie. So that's why 3 copies. Maybe I should have a 4th copy. Not sure. Still kind of trying to figure out the exact lines of things. But I do have another Pokemon that pairs with it, and this is Azelf. This is another single price second Pokemon, and the Neurokinesis for 2 energy. That's a little tricky, but we do have a tool to help out with that. And we will survive some turns as well, I will say. Surprisingly, with a deck like this. You can kind of control things a bit. For two energies, does 10 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon. So start with Uxie, get damage spread. Then really later game, Azelf, boom, wipe out that multi-prize Pokemon as the damage counters get spread around. Really good there. So just 1 copy because I don't want to start it. I don't really want it early. I just want it in the discard pile to copy with Ditto, because I do play 2 copies of Ditto. Again, maybe a 3rd Ditto in the deck, but I really want to start Uxie, so that's why not a 3rd Ditto. But sudden transformation ability, you copy the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile. So what's great with Ditto is you can copy Uxie, you can also copy Azelf, and I'm also playing 2 copies of Mimikyu, so I'm playing Psychic Energy. It's another Buddy-Buddy Poffin searchable Pokemon, which all of these attacking options are. And it does, for Ghost Eye, you put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for 2 energy, and then it's got the Safeguard ability, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and V. So 2 copies of this. At times I've played 1 copy, but there's games you're just going to win with Mimikyu. Either you'll just can win them outright, because there's actually not a ton of cancel in Cologne, and your opponent's going to struggle to get through 2 Mimikyus. And with Rod, and also Tulip, we can recover these some. But having a 2nd copy that you can easily get into play, you know, if you get 2 Mimikyus in play, it forces them to deal with Mimikyu followed by Mimikyu. Having to recover with Rod and get it back into play is more awkward. So 2 in the deck, I like a lot there. So those are the attacking options. I'm not playing the Mispirit. And again, I don't know. Well, I'll just say I don't know if I'm pronouncing things correctly. If you follow my channel, my pronunciations are probably not what you want to go by. But hopefully, it's just a quirky thing. Hopefully, you can take it that spirit. So, but Mispirit, talking about that, another 70 HP Pokemon from Surging Sparks, and it pairs with Uxie and Azelf, which is why you could put it in the deck. I don't put it in the deck because I don't want to start it. It's bad for that. And I think it's very niche. And also because I'm only playing 1 Azelf because I'm going Ditto heavy, it doesn't make sense. But Guardian Burst, for 2 Psychic does 160, but only works if you have an Uxie and an Azelf on your bench. Now, you can copy the Mispirit with Ditto, that's fine, but you have to have an Uxie, and I'm playing 3 Uxie, that's probably going to happen. But I'm only playing 1 Azelf, so if I wanted Mispirit, I'd probably need a 2nd Azelf. And then and now 2 other Pokemon. Even if I dropped in a 4th Uxie, I might start Uxie less often. So I've just avoided Mispirit because really I just want to Uxie early, and then maybe Mimikyu to wall and Azelf to take something out big. So what I've also played then is 1 Radiant Alakazam. I definitely think this is the Radiant for the deck, and it makes it better. And actually, these days, every deck doesn't play a Radiant also, right? But definitely want this for the Painful Spoon's ability. I gotta say, it's hard reading the text the way they've increased the effects on it, because it gets really dark at times. But once during a turn, you may move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another of their Pokemon. So you move 1 or 2 damage counters from one Pokemon to another. Obviously, we're spreading down with the Uxie, so we can set up what we're going to knock out when we're going to knock it out. So very good there. And the attack is actually pretty good too. For 2 two energies. We can't copy with Ditto because it's a rule box Pokemon, because it's not just V's and EXs plus any rule box, but we can attack with it. It does 20 for each card in your opponent's hand. So we're not really looking to attack with it, but it's an option there as well. So 10 basic psychic energies, that's enough. I originally, when I built the deck, I played a Xatu engine, but I wasn't feeling like I was getting enough value out of it, so I figured I'd cut the line. I kept reducing the line until eventually I said, forget it, because I need Dittos and Mimikyus and Uxies in play, Radiant Alakazam. Bench space was an issue. I also wasn't prioritizing the Natu early on, because I need to get these other Pokemon in play, which I think was correct, which meant the Xatu wasn't getting set up till late in the game, and it just was not working well, which also allowed me to cut the energies down to 10. I was playing 12 before with the Xatus to make it happen. So cutting the 2/2 Xatu line, or 3/3 at one point, plus a couple energies, that's like, what, 6 or 8 deck slots there, so that's awesome, right? It makes the deck better. Now, I don't have any engine. You could put like a barrel engine. I've considered that. Could do a Curlier engine as well. That helps you get Pokemon in the discard pile to copy with Ditto, but I decided to go engine-less, but therefore when you go engine-less, you have a couple options. I'm playing 2 Trekking Shoes. You could go 4 Trekking Shoes. That's one way to do it, but I went with 4 Pokégear, right? Because I'm playing a decent amount of supporters, and so it really helps with that Pokégear 3.0. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you can put a supporter you find there into your hand. And Trekking Shoes, if you're not familiar, look at the top card of your deck, you put it in your hand, or discard it and then draw the next card in deck. So those just help you get through your deck, and that you can function without an engine with cards like Trekking Shoes and Pokégear. All right, I mentioned supporters. I'll just hit those first. 1 copy of Tulip. Actually, let me change the art for it just to make it easier for copying. So, whoops, let me drop that one. I guess, well, anyway, whatever, that's the Tulip it gave me. But anyway, Tulip, sorry, put it up to 4 psychic Pokemon and basic psychic energy that just pile into your hand, so that's just good. Helps us recover late game. Maybe I could drop it, put it in another Night Stretcher or something, but I still like it. But again, this is what I was playing, the Xatu engine. It made a lot of sense. It's less valuable now. Maybe it goes away, but I kind of like it. All right, so playing 3 Boss's Orders, very good. Could drop a boss and put in a counter catcher. You could like drop all the boss, go counter catcher, and try to make the game more Pokestop focused, but I don't really want to do that. 4 Iono, 4 Arven, just good supporters, so a decent number of supporters, so that's why Pokégear makes sense. The other thing is, I'm playing Neutralization Zone for the A-Spec. You always want an A-Spec, right? It prevents damage done to Pokemon that don't have a rule box, which is everything except for my Radiant Alakazam here, by attacks your opponent's Pokemon EX and V. But they can damage with a Radiant Pokemon, right? It's not all rule box Pokemon, but only EXs and Vs. So, but very good now. Trying it out. So it's another walling option, right? Now look, stadiums can get bumped, right, in a lot of ways, but not always. Not always. So I find Neutralization Zone, I want to, if it's going to be a factor, I want to push Mimikyu early, hold off on the Neutralization Zone. Ideally, they'll have gotten rid of some stadiums, and then this has more likely to stick, right? That's kind of my thought there. I'm playing 2 Artazons as well. Get to put a non-rule box Pokemon onto your bench. That has good value, as well as bumping opponent stadiums there. Okay, getting Pokemon in play. Playing 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, yeah, because these are basic Pokemon, all except for the Radiant, 70 HP or less. That's great there. Also playing 2 Ultra Balls. Could play Nest Ball, because that gets the Radiant Pokemon play, but we need to get cards in the discard pile for our Ditto, so that's why I'm playing 2 Ultra Balls. You could play around with the number there, but maybe replace one with a Nest Ball or something. But I'm thinking this number seems to be working pretty well there. Let's see, what else do I have here? And I'm playing 3 Earthen Vessel. Could cut this to 2, certainly, even 1. I would keep at least 2, though. So those are some of the things for playing with the deck, right? Discard a card, again, good with Ditto, get basic energy in hand. All really, really good stuff there. All right, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. We play like the one of Radiant Alakazam, the one of Azelf. We want to be able to get those cards at some point, so Hisuian Heavy Ball lets us get it from the prize cards. Oh, I'm playing 1 Counter Catcher. I forgot that. So yeah, it's a good card. One Switch Cart, they're all basic, so Switch Cart's better than Switch. At one point I had a couple Switches, could put a second copy in, but I'm thinking this is good. All right, hold off on the tools. Let me just hit everything except for the tools first. One copy of Super Rod, that's very good as well. Could replace it in one Night Stretcher. So could replace the Rod with a second Night Stretcher. I'm not sure of those counts at the moment, I gotta say. That's some of the room to sort out this deck. And then one copy of Pal Pad, which I don't really know that I need that, honestly. I had the deck more researched. At one point, originally, it was a 4 research deck, and as I've changed things, I don't, honestly, now I don't really think I need Pal Pad. So anyway, I probably should cut, I don't know what I'd put in, but that probably can cut that to make the deck a little stronger. All right, then a number of tools here, because originally I didn't have Arven. Now I have Arven, because I had some tools, but now gone more tool heavy. One copy of Counter Gain. A second copy could be good. If you have more prizes, cards remain than your opponent, attacks by this Pokemon, the cards this Pokemon this is attached to, the Pokemon this card is attached to, sorry, costs 1 less. That means for 1 energy, we can attack with Mimikyu, we can use Ditto to copy Mimikyu as well, and we can attack with Azelf for 1 energy. So those get powered up, and of course we can attack with Uxie, or again copy with Ditto for no energy, right? And even Radiant Alakazam, we can attack with 1 energy. So has value there for sure. Ideally we're not falling behind the prizes, but it's certainly going to happen in a number of games. 1 Rescue Board just gives us a pivot. Yeah, I mean, I kind of dropped, I think, a second Switch or Switch Cart to put in the Rescue Board once I was playing Arven. So therefore, I'm back and forth as to what the best plan is there. This is really good. TM Devolution, very important. 1 energy, you devolve your opponent's Pokemon. We spread damage around. Obviously, rare candy decks does twofold, which are a big thing. And Dragapult EX, once they set up, we're in a lot of trouble. That's how it is. That's just what it is. You could play Rapska to deal with that, but you've got to get that set up, and I haven't gone that route, but maybe it becomes necessary. But TM Devolution, it does 2 things. If it's a rare candy deck, they have to have rare candy to re-evolve again, but also if we spread damage, we devolve, and ideally when it goes to the lower stage, the stage 1 or the basic, it has enough damage to knock it out, right? So good. So 2 copies of that. I really like that in the deck. And 1 copy of Gravity Gemstone. It has value. And this is partly where, because of the spread, and I could even see putting a second copy of this in as well, I gotta say. The idea behind this, we play a boss or a counter catcher, get something stuck in the active. Now the retreat cost is not just 1, but like a lot of Pokemon, probably the most common number is retreat cost of 1. Now with this attached, they need 2 energy to retreat, so they're stuck in the active for a turn or 2. Well, we're just spreading damage with Uxie's attack. So that's the 60. I'm really liking the deck. Still refining the list, but let's go take a look at the deck in action. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, I didn't mention, I don't think I mentioned in the intro, For the Win has a video on this with Frostlass. That's another way you can go with the deck. You don't want to do Frostlass with Ditto because you're just going to knock your guys out. There's also an attacker which I consider, but then I'd have to go away from Ditto. So I want to go second. I want to attack with Uxie. Obviously, it'd be nice to know what your cards are before you choose, but that's not the way the game works, which is probably a good decision, keeping it relatively fair. All right, starting Ditto. That's not good because unless I get something this I can't attack. I have Pokégear. If I can get an Arven, then I can, and I have Earthen Vessel for energy. So we'll see what happens. Now my opponent doesn't know what I'm playing. That's the good thing about Ditto, right? They don't know. And I do play the reducing retreat cost card, Rescue Board. Sorry, reduce the retreat cost. All right, so Artazon is good for me too. So I could just, maybe I'll just move. So now that's good for me because now I could Artazon for Uxie and hopefully switch in, right? So, and attack. So memory skip is a bit scary in that most of my Pokemon. Okay, I got Uxie already, so that's good. All right, I'm gonna hold off on the Mimikyu, and I'm gonna drop down. a Ditto. Okay. Oh, so my Azelf is prized, right? Do I have Heavy Ball, by the way? Is it my hand? No. Okay, so my Heavy Ball's prized, and my... all right, so let me... I can attack, though. I can attack. All right, Arven is really good, so... I think... how do I want to work this? I get a tool. Which tool do I want? I guess I want a Rescue Board on him. Oh, and oh no, oh, my Heavy Ball's not prized, so that's really nice too. Or do I want to grab another? Let's see. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so I'll just make this my play. Oops, sorry for the taking so long. Heavy Ball. We'll grab the Azelf. Let's see what else is prized quickly. Okay, got one TM Devolution there. So now I'll drop both those guys in the discard pile. And I will grab... I'll grab Radiant Alakazam. Yeah, I'm holding off on the Mimikyu. So what do I want to do for... I need to get rid of some energy. So do I want to ditch Boss? I want to keep the Radiant Alakazam. I'm going to keep... I'll ditch one Boss. It's a bit dicey, right? So anyway, so now I'm having to use Ditto's attack. There's no reason to use Rescue Board at this point, so I can do Painful Memories, and that's good. And so I don't know, it was a bit weird the way I sequenced things, the way I ended up the turn. Did I make the right calls? I'm not sure. I certainly didn't have a path, a full plan when I started my turn, which is always better, right? See what my opponent gets in play, right? So Buddy-Buddy Poffin, that's going to be maybe some more Ralts maybe, which means more guys to place damage on, so liking that for sure. And then at 60 HP Ralts, I can move 2 damage counters with Radiant Alakazam and then knock them out with an Uxie next turn, so I can... Looking like I could take a prize next turn as well. We'll see what my opponent does, though. They could, you know... I'm guessing it's a Gardevoir deck. It might not be, though, of course. It could be something else, just using a Curly Engine. But, you know, time will tell on that. So, opponent's taking their time. So, yeah, so... Okay. And this is damage is based... I mean, their damage is based on the damage on their Pokemon. So Eevee, okay, Eevee, all right, which is what, Sylveon, right? So, okie dokie. So it can evolve the turn you play it if it's in the active spot, but I assume they don't want to do that. So, I'll have to, all right, discarding a Boss, I'm liking that, right? I discarded a Boss as well, so, but, you know, ditching Boss isn't to their benefit. They probably don't play 3 Boss. I don't know the state of Gardevoir, and I don't know Gardevoir Sylveon, how... I assume it's Sylveon, right? Sylveon EX, I believe, is in the new set. I don't know how common of a deck that is, if there's really a 60 that's sorted out for that, or if it's just someone trying something a little different, right? Okay, so now... So I want to take out the Ralts, certainly, in the active, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's not terrible. I do have a Boss, which I could do, which I might just do, gust somebody up, right? All right, what do I want to drop onto my bench? Do I want to drop down Mimikyu yet? I could drop... do I drop? I could drop down Mimikyu and get energy on him. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop down a Mimikyu. I could Boss Gust something up. I want to take out, I think, the Ralts. I'm going to... all right, I'm going to Gust up the Gardevoir. Make some move around some more energy to make that happen. I do want to take a prize. Let's move these 2 damage counters here from Gardevoir to the Ralts. Plus, you know, taking out, losing Curlius is good. I'm going to attach an energy. The problem is, if I attach to Mimikyu, I might not get energy next turn, right? So the safest play is... So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take what's, quote, the safe play. It might be the wrong play. I could have Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I could have filled my bench up also just to kind of thin my deck out. So anyway, taking a prize. So I take a prize card and I draw for turn. So this is an energy. So maybe I should have gone Mimikyu. It's okay, though. It's okay. Let's see, 20. And also, if I'm going to use the Azelf, I got to pay attention to damage counters in the game, right? So it's 10 plus 10, right? So 20. So it's doing 80. So it's doing 90 damage. And obviously, like if you're trying to knock out Gardevoir, you actually got to add in the damage that's already on it. I'm well short of that, of course, but I can one-shot anything else this next turn. So let's see what my opponent does. They only have 1 energy to work with. Okay, Sylveon. I assume it's Sylveon. All right, getting Iono, that's okay. Because it wasn't, the hand was fine, but not a great hand, right? And again, you know, maybe I should go with the Barrel Engine. All right, got my own Iono. I like that. So see what happens here. I mean, Bravery Charm, they don't need to do that. Well, wait, is that what it's called? I'm trying to remember now. Is that with the different cards? Yeah, Bravery Charm. Obviously, there is what, the Cape card. Great. Whatever, they've had other cards do the same thing with different names rather than reprinting them. They make new cards. I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's not like they're doing it just, Pokemon's not doing it just to make lots of money, because printing like Bravery Charm isn't really driving their economy. All right, so I want to take out the, I guess I want to Iono them, I think. I should probably drop something on the bench, right? I should thin here too. Do I want another Mimikyu? Maybe I do. I'll drop down to Mimikyu. I'm not sure if that's what I want. Did I slap down an energy? I did attach energy, so let me just Iono. Might help them, but look, they have a 1 Curlia in play, right? So, how do I want to work? Oh, Counter Gain's nice, but that's not going to be very helpful, is it? So these are 60 HP guys, so I think I want to move damage. Do I want to take a prize this turn? Next turn? I want to clear off. So I'm going to move off Drifloon because I want damage on him anyway, right? So I'll just kind of keep healing him up. Curlia, which I can take him out next turn, right? Because he's a 60 HP guy. So that's good. So that I could take a prize with the TM Devolution, but I'd like to keep spreading damage. So, and now's when the Azelf attack starts to get better too, right? So I got to start paying attention. 40, 80, 60. I hate these boxes, these text boxes. Look, it's good to give the information, but it's covering up the information I need to be reading. You know, it's covering up the damage counters right now. And that's not good. It just shouldn't be there. There's a lot of space. Look, on the left side, the right side. They don't need to put the message box right there. They shouldn't put it over the cards. They should put it over the board somewhere, right? Anyway, like the right hand side of the board or something should show it up. So let's see, 100 there, 140, 60, 70, 80, 90. I think is it 200? I miscounted there somewhere, but 140. Yeah, I think it's 200. So I can't quite take one shot. I can't quite one-shot the Gardevoir, but I'm getting close to that as well. So we'll kind of see what happens here. I can kind of keep healing up the Drifloon and moving ant damage onto the Ralts, right? Because I want to get him set to take out. And if they use Gardevoir, of course, ability, I could potentially... I got rid of a boss, right? Yeah, so I'm down to one boss. That part's unfortunate because, you know, the idea of one-shotting a Gardevoir at some point in the game is very appealing as well. I have a Mimikyu with energy, though, so they know... It just makes things a little awkward for them. So is what I will say. All right, a second Gardevoir. All right, interesting. I'm surprised by that, but I guess they do know they could lose the single prize guy, but yeah, I mean it's dicey is what I'd say. So Psychic Embrace, good, get some more damage in play. So let's see, am I gonna get enough damage to one-shot something? A big guy. So they're gonna retreat, I'm guessing, send up Drifloon, I assume, which I can then take out with the Mimikyu, I think is my play there. Oh wait, are they gonna be, oh, well, I can take him out with, I need to accelerate more energy, and then I can take him out with Radiant Alakazam, right? So that works for me here. So, right, so they're at 70 HP, they're at 80, sorry. Okay, but I do 70, yeah, that's right, they're at 80, I do 70, so I have to move one damage counter over, which is fine. So I think I take him out with my Mimikyu this turn. Just kind of keep up the pressure there. And now, you know, they need to get, if they, you know, I think that's a solid place to be for sure. Do I want to just kind of keep thinning my deck? I think I do. The Gravity Gemstone could be help too, just kind of thinning the deck with this, right? So I can get to something better. This is where I don't have an engine, but just, you know, hey, you do what you can. You thin, you do stuff like this. I could, in fact, I'm going to Earthen Vessel, get away the Artazon, because I assume the Artazon's sticking. I could, all right, so I'm going to, so I got to move one damage counter, and I can move him from the Eevee, right, because is what I'll do. So because now the Eevee gets taken out with an Uxie if he stays like that, right? So, which is all good for me. I can't use counter gain because I'm not behind in prizes. So 3 tools that all potentially have value as well. Still, you know, this could be a TM Devolution for the win with this game. We'll see. Right, if I can get things such that I take a whole bunch of prizes when I devolve things, that could happen. Now, of course, like from the Gardevoir, if I devolve him, like the one Gardevoir at the Curly gets knocked out, but that's just one prize there. So, Eevee, I assume, becomes Sylveon. They can't accelerate energy to the Eevee, so that part's a little weird. They have to attach manually, which they might be able to do. So with the Rod and the Artazon, they get their single prize attacker going again. So I can't attack with Mimikyu because actually I can use Mimikyu's attack. Assuming if they knock out my Mimikyu, I can use my Ditto to copy the Mimikyu. Sorry, I'm not immune, but I do take the knockout, so that's a thought. Although copying the Azelf is really good at some point too. What do I have? One Ditto prized. I mean, one Ditto's in the discard. I'm just playing the 2. Okay, so and I only play the one Rod. I play one Rod and one Night Stretcher in terms of being able to recover them. So I have to hit that. So, you know, so Sylveon's into play now. So Magical Charm, 2 of the bench Pokemon. Okay. Just paying it. So they're going to retreat manually. And what are they going to do? They're going to... I place damage counters with both Mimikyu and Ditto. All right, so during text by the defending Pokemon... Okay, but they're going to... Okay, so they're going to take a knockout here. If they don't get the tool attached, I can one-shot him with Ditto. I still, you know, the whole TM Devolution is still a play I want to be working on too. So I need to keep working on those numbers as well, right? So, You know, yeah, I got to think this through. I think I want to... I don't think I want Uxie yet. I think I want a Ditto. Gets me the knockout. I'm in a bit of a, you know, now the fact they don't have it. What are they doing? Are they gonna gust up my Radiant Alakazam? Which I don't like that. I don't like that. That's awkward for me. But although this is actually potentially they've really made things bad for themselves though, because now I take out Drifloon with the spread. So I'm going to spread attack, which is actually gets me to a pretty good place here, right? So, yeah, and I can attach a Counter Gain here as well. I don't think I want our Gravity Gemstone again. There's nothing here, right, to get. So now I'm in a bit of a... Oh, I have an Uxie, so I guess I'll drop him down on the bench to thin. And yeah, so I have the one rod, and do I have the Night Stretcher? I have the Night Stretcher. Okay, so that's all fine. So I take one prize, and then I can really do some damage next turn. I mean, I wish I had the Radiant Alakazam, but this is okay. I think... I'm trying to think... you know, the one question is, do I want to attach Gravity Gemstone? Because then it means whatever they promote, they can't retreat. Makes their decision-making a little tricky. All right, I'm down to 3 prizes. So, okay, Pokégear is great. So, how many prizes can I take out with the Devolution? I can take out 1. I take out 2. Right now, I win the game. I take 3 prizes with TM Devolution as it stands, right? So I'm liking that, right? Because Sylveon he's 50, he's 80, he's 80, he or she, I guess, right? And if the text wasn't there, yeah, 80. So that's my 3 prizes. So I think I can TM Devolve for the game, in which case this game has gone very well. It's been a slowish game, but that's kind of how these games work as well. So what are they going to do here? I lose 2 Pokemon on the bench, but that's okay. They go in the deck. I assume they should get rid of the Ditto and the Mimikyu, but they don't take out my active. If they take out my active, which they can do, then the TM, you know, as long as they don't, they could support her, right? They could Iono me or Judge, right? And if something like that's gonna hurt me. But I might, you know, there's a decent chance I'm gonna draw into something that's okay, because I have a decent amount of cards in hand. I just finally drew something to help me get into my deck. So my opponent's thinking through what to do. So counter catcher. Okay. All right. So let's see. Right now I have what I need for game, as long as this hand. Now they could put me in a spot where I can't win this next turn. That's possible. If they Iono me, I'm not going to be happy. I won't be happy with that. And they Iono me. So now, because I have, so my TMT, so I need Arven. If I get Arven, I have game, right? So, okay. Do I Rod here? I don't think I Rod here. At least I don't Rod until I play Pokégear first. So if I hit Arven, I have game, right? That's where I'm at. So, what's my situation? I played 1 Arven, so there's 3 Arvens in the deck. So 3 Arvens out of 30 cards. So I don't know the odds. I really don't. So what did they get rid of? Oh, they kept my Mimikyu. Okay, not bad. Earthen Vessel. Okay, so that I'm halfway there. So I just need my tools. So let me thin my deck. So now sequencing, right? Let me see. Do I have 3 I have all 3 Arvens there. Okay, good. Don't play Rod at the moment because Iono. Well, that's not what I wanted, but it could get me what I need, right? I take 1 prize with that, right? So, okay, that's not terrible. I should have our Artazon first. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake there. I'll grab the Ditto. I should have done that before the Pokégear, so I didn't fully sequence it properly. So give me my tool, which I don't... Well, actually, I shuffled the deck with the Artazon, so that worked out well. Gemstone. Huh. So I can hit it with Mimikyu. I think I want to... how do I want to work this? I'll keep him in the active. That might be a mistake, but might be a mistake. We'll see what happens here. Because now I can't attach the tool next turn to my Uxie, right? I can't attach the TM Devolution. So, but I'm thinking keeping the Sylveon stuck there. Well, that's what was running through my mind. So they have to use the right. They have to use the first attack. They do 160, right? Or they can retreat. Now that they can retreat with this extra energy. So with 3 energy, right? It's 3 energy to retreat. So they lose all their energy, which isn't necessarily terrible. I do have... I guess I send up the Ditto. I do take a prize with Ditto. I take a prize with Uxie, right? So I send up the Ditto. I have Rescue Board. So I think I just I will Ditto this next turn, and I have the energy in hand now. I use Ditto, and they're bossing. Okay, all right, interesting there. All right, I'll send up the Mimikyu, so I'll send up. I think. Maybe I'll send up the Uxie. No, the Uxie I can't retreat the Uxie unless I attach. So because he's got the stone, right? The was it Dust Stone? I think it is, which increases his Gravity Gemstone. Sorry, I thought that was wrong. So Gravity Gemstone, because his retreat cost is more as well. Now they can retreat for less. I don't, Anyway, so it's an interesting one. I have Mimikyu. I can obviously pay the retreat cost off Mimikyu as well. I take a prize off Kirlia. I assume they don't have another Gardevoir in deck. TM Devolution wins the game for me. We'll see what happens. I got to remember to use the Artazon, thin my deck on my turn. Just, this is where if I had an engine, I probably would have closed out the game, right? Now, the problem is if I had an engine, that would have been more bench space, and would things have worked, right? And I don't know, right? That's where I don't know things. So I'll send up the Mimikyu. He can retreat. I can pay the retreat cost, whatever. If I get my tool. All right, Pokégear. Artazon gets me game. Let's thin the deck first. So drop down the Uxie. Arven wins the game. Arven, boom. All right, that's what I need. I take 3 prizes, right? TM Devolution. Super awesome there. And the rest of it doesn't matter. And I just devolve and I grab my prizes. So there we go. So this is why I'm playing 2 TM Devolutions, which I definitely want to keep in the deck. I had one, I added the second one. A turn like this is just super fun, right? Devolving a whole bunch and then grabbing a 3 prize turn. So just the fact is I slowed my opponent down and spread damage, and the fact that I could move damage helped things out. They ultimately targeted my Radiant Alakazam because he was causing too much trouble. I get that, but then that was okay. He's not my attacker, so it's kind of a don't feel too bad about it on the other hand. So got the win and got some good gameplay there. So very, very pleased with the deck. All right, just going to keep it to 1 game for this video. I usually have 2, but that was a longish game, so I'm going to keep it to that. So got to see what the deck does over things. So anyway, my thoughts, I'm very pleased. I do think Uxie, super awesome, super fun. Always looking for different types of decks. Single prize decks are always a favorite for me and a lot of people as well. Spread decks are just a different type of deck that are fun to try out. This is a very nice attacker. I do like it with the Ditto, which means no Frostlass, and also to me, I think it means no Spirit because it just makes it a little less efficient there. Maybe I would put in another Uxie just to help start an Uxie. I don't know. So I like these Pokemon. I don't think I need a second Azelf. I think one is fine. Because honestly, I don't use it a lot of games. Now, maybe I need to change my mindset and focus on it a little more, but really just want to get them in the discard pile early, along with an Uxie, and then your Dittos can do whatever you want. So 10 energy, I think, is fine. You could go less, I guess. I just get nervous with less than 10, but maybe cutting it to, you're probably okay with 9. Other cards, what could you do? If I'm just thinking changes here, could put in one or two more Trekking Shoes just to help make the deck consistently. Could put an engine in the deck as well. Could go with Kirlia. We do have the energies to make that happen. We could play probably the Memory Skip Ralts. Probably though would put in a barrel. Do I want to put it a 2/2 line or a 1/1 line? Could do like a 2/1 line as well. I'm not sure. So right now I think I'm going to keep playing it without the engine. Maybe go to two more Trekking Shoes. I don't think I need another Heavy Ball. I don't know if I need a Counter Catcher and 2 Bosses orders. Is Neutralization Zone the right ace spec? I'm still not certain. Obviously there's other good ace specs out there, so could switch that around for sure as well. Maybe Secret Box. Honestly, it helps you discard some Pokemon and just draws the cards you want. So another card to help the deck set up with that, especially since I'm not playing an engine, that could be good. In terms of tools, let's see. Do I need 3 Earthen Vessels? 2 might be okay. Any tools that I want more of? Counter Gain actually could be good for my gameplay with it. But anyway, a very good 60. I'd give Uxie a try. There's different builds out there, so give it a try in some different ways. Let me know your thoughts on Uxie, what's the best thing to pair it with, and any tweaks to this list. Certainly appreciate it. Anyway, have fun, take care, and play some Pokemon.